Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Misty Crypto, spreading crypto, adopting, showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included, it's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, SD, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z, better change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down, I got a wax account, you should say it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count, and I'm only getting started. Yeah, barely off the ground. Misty Crypto, you cannot stop me. My hands are made from diamond, your hands fall like origami. Never be the boss of me. Bitcoin's all I need. When I say I'm zesty, that's just me talking honestly. Crypto and yum bar marketplace. I wanna see the more we gotta go through cyberspace. Leave this world without a trace. Save faith for a different day, 'cause we partners in the cryptos didn't stay.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I hope everybody is having a lovely day today. I don't know about you, but I am feeling the zest today more than like any other day this week. I know I felt some zest on Monday with the show with Monty Greenspan. If you did not see that, go check it out. If you are new to the channel, then what's up, my friends? My name is Miss Teen Crypto. It's so nice to meet you. If you're feeling the zest, if you're feeling the good vibes, drop a like, subscribe, share the stream out with friends, and say hello in the chat because we got a ton of cool people in there. First, as always, before we jump into the show, got to thank two amazing sponsors. First, Wax Blockchain. If you did not see, they had a Hot Wheels drop. I will be dropping one of those packs throughout the show, so keep note. Next, we have Ballet. Ballet is killing the game, as always, with their easy and convenient wallets. You can actually enter to win one of these today. Gareth, our zesty guest, will throw out a word, and you guys will enter that word in the chat. If you win, I'll let you know. Send me a DM on Twitter with your email address. I'll get you started with the Ballet team. I do have an NFT out for you guys, and if we get 60 likes, I'll drop another NFT. But let's jump into today's show with the one and only zesty trader himself, Gareth Soloway. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing wonderfully well. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be here. I'm pumped up because of you, so I can't wait to get into it and discuss some good stuff.
Me too, Gareth. It was so great having you the last show. If you guys did not see that episode with Gareth, I think it was like maybe 2 months ago. Time is absolutely flying. I have no concept of time anymore. Please check that out on the Miss Teen Crypto Show playlist after this, of course, because we have so much to uncover today. How has it been the last 2 months, just like living life, since you've last been on? Has anything crazy happened to you?
I mean, I don't know about crazy, but it's been busy. It has been busy. I've been back and forth. I've been on a trip to Canada. I've been on trips, just lots of business trips and talking to people and working on educational material because let's be honest, especially in bear markets, I think people have to learn, right? Learning is how you actually make money in bear markets, which is what everyone should be doing. I know it's not what most people are doing, but you should be. So education, learn, you won't fall into the same pitfalls that you fell into prior, and that saves you money.
Absolutely. Education is the biggest thing. And Gareth, do you mind? I know we dabbled into it the last time you were on the show, but when did you actually start trading? What was like kind of the first charts you were looking at, and how did you feel about it when you first started?
So I first started in .com bubble. This was back in like the late 90s, and it was all play money back then. So I didn't have any money at the time, but I got addicted because of these crazy moves that were going on, just like a crypto going from a penny to 10 cents, like a Dogecoin, a Shiba Inu. Some of these .com companies did the same thing. And I just watched fake money explode, right? 100,000 to 300,000. And it addicted me. I'm like, if this was real money, I'd be pretty well off, right? And so I right there and then I was like, I'm going to learn how to do this. It literally took me years to figure it out, where I would have my small account, I'd lose it, I'd blow it up, just everything that everyone in crypto is probably going through right now, because I didn't have a thesis. I didn't have a core about why I was making a trade other than always following everyone else. And like my mom and dad always said, if someone jumped off a building, would you do the same thing? No, right? So you have to figure it out for yourself. And I started to look at the charts. I started to see repetition in the charts. When this happens, the result is 80% of the time X or Y. So let's start trading that way. And so I started to create this thesis about every trade I get into. Why am I doing it? What are the factors? And before you knew it, I started to make money trading, and it's only gone up from there. So that's a real crash course in it.
Wow. Well, bottom line, you worked hard and to get where you are now, and you really put the time in, which is what a lot of people maybe are a little hesitant to do because maybe they'll feel like it's a little above them, but everything takes time. Take your time. It's not a race, my guy. Garrett's been here for a long time.
Yeah, and I always like to say too, folks, is like a couple things. Number one, I'm not any more intelligent than anyone else. I guarantee it. It's just work ethic and studying. And like, think about a brain surgeon. I love to use this analysis is like a brain surgeon can't watch a video on brain surgery and go in and be like, all right, I'm going to pay me $500,000 every year. I'm going to do brain surgery for this hospital. It takes study. It takes dedication. It takes schooling. And again, if in the markets, I make more than brain surgeons, right? So why wouldn't it take at least as much effort to get to that point? The only difference is I do it in my pajamas sometimes, in my undies, like whatever. You trade from home, you do it on your own time. You want to travel to Europe, you can still trade if you have an internet connection. It is the most beautiful job in the world.
Couldn't have put it any better, Gareth. Absolutely. Especially with this new day and age, where you're going to work is the internet. It's the best place to go, especially, you know, there's too many things going on in the world. Got to worry about closing this, opening that. Nah, be at home in your underwear, trading crypto. That's the new lifestyle we're going to have. And there's so many things that have been going on with, you know, inflation and the charts. I mean, gosh, guys, if you guys are looking, I'll give you some live updates right now. There's been so much price action today. And I know you've been, you know, watching closely as usual, Sir Gareth. We have, according to my HODL app, we have 22.7K Bitcoin up 8%. We have ETH up 15%, Litecoin up 11.1%. Like that, those are some spicy numbers here. Yeah. And we heard Sir Powell speak before. Do you mind, before we get into like, you know, like the craziness of what Jerome was saying, we're hearing about basis points. And that we went up 75. I think we went up 75 basis points today. What are basis points, and what does this essentially mean for the markets?
So a basis point is 0.1%. So it's really tiny, right? It's just 0.1%, not even 1%, 0.1. So 75 basis points means it's 0.75% was the Fed funds rate raised, right? And basically that's the level that what the Fed charges to lend money. And it basically what it does is it sets the kind of the floor on what banks charge you. Banks are always going to charge more, right? Because if they get X from the Federal Reserve, they need to charge Y to make money. So again, that's really what it is. But essentially to kind of put it in super basic terms, the more interest rates go up, the more people pull money out of risk assets that are risky and say, oh, well, instead of taking risk here, I can get a guaranteed rate of return over here. And that's why it tends to slow the economy down. It sucks money out, which is why Jerome Powell's raising rates, because inflation is so high, he has to suck money out of the system to slow inflation down. So hopefully that was a little bit of a basic understanding of it. But yeah, I mean, 75 basis point hike today from Jerome Powell.
And it was kind of crazy that Sir Powell was saying that inflation is too high. I was pretty shocked to hear him say that. No?
I mean, inflation is still it is high in terms of like people, you know, if you go to the grocery store, if you buy anything these days, I mean, prices really have gone up. So he's been feeling the pressure, I think, politically too, right? I mean, you're in a midterm election year. Biden wants to have a shot at keeping the Dems in control. And so people aren't happy that when they go to the store or they fill up their gas tank, it's costing them a ton of money. So we have to get inflation down. Inflation really is something that sucks because if you have a 10% inflation rate, it means that $1 you have today, next year, it's only worth 90 cents, right? And so if you think about that, the money you're making today, if inflation stays high, it's worth pennies on the dollar in a few years. And that's why, you know, you have to bring down these inflation numbers. So again, the idea here is he's been raising a lot. The reason, and this is really counterintuitive, the markets are ripping right now after he raised. And most people would scratch their heads and say, why is the market rallying on this? And the answer is this, is even though he raised 75 basis points, he basically threw the market a bone saying, we're going to be a little bit more cautious. We're getting close to the end of hiking. And I know, again, this is counterintuitive, but the market is so concerned that he's going to overhike rates and drive the economy into a nasty recession that it actually is happy that he's getting close to the end. They're hoping inflation comes down from here and that he's done hiking, and then boom, crypto can rip again. And we're seeing a pretty nice move today.
Yeah, I mean, wow. What actually we could whenever you're ready to display charts, you can go for it.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
do it.
yeah, let's just like hop right into it. I think that it's so interesting what's going on because it's like I'm watching him and watching the charts. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, so basically right here was where the announcement came out. So you can see what crypto did from that point, just ripped to the upside on his slightly dovish side. Dovish, by the way, that term means that he was more nice to the markets in terms of his commentary. He wasn't so hard-nosed. The other term is hawkish, where he's going to raise more and more and just kind of crush the markets. So he was a little bit more dovish. The market loved that. Bitcoin loved it. We've seen all of crypto rally here. The stock market's rallying. And in all fairness, I mean, we've gone even as far as to see the US dollar starting to come down because let me put up the DXY. This is the dollar, and look at the dollar collapse on that statement. So
Wow.
the dollar had a big drop here. And the idea here is that if he's not going to raise as much, then it's likely that he'll start printing again. Therefore, that's more dollars in the system. So this is very whacked. I mean, trying to describe the way this is all working together is really messed up because you could say, okay, well, if he's going to print more money, then isn't that bad for inflation? But the markets are more worried about a recession right now than the inflation side. We know the inflation's coming down. Look at gas. I mean, all these things have collapsed. Let me show you guys a picture, a gasoline chart here. Let me go to the daily chart. So this is the gas chart. You can see this is the daily gas chart. So this was June 3rd up here. So you can see gasoline has come down. That's going to bring down inflation. It's taking less money to fill up their gas tanks. And so again, we will see inflation come down. Now the market likes the fact that he's maybe closer to being done raising interest rates.
Wow. I really like how they're like you could actually see the charts about all this stuff. I actually didn't know this was like you could actually like dive in and start looking at this so in depth.
Let me show you guys some other really cool stuff. So a lot of people, so I was bearish when we were at 68, 69,000. The charts were telling me that was going to happen. You have something called an M double top up here. This was a classic sign of resistance.
Yep.
The market again. So again, the market was guiding us that this bearish market was coming into play. Interestingly enough, I went bullish down here in the near term. I have a short-term price target of 25.5, maybe 28 to 30,000. I'm going to show you why. Just some cool stuff. So number one, here's your 2017 high. Draw a trend line straight and look at what you just hit. So
wow.
Basically the market stopped right at that 2017 high. Technically speaking, there's going to be some buyers there that are saying, oh, remember when it was at that level? Let me buy into crypto here. So that's number one. The other thing is, look at this. Look at how beautiful the market works. I'm going to go to something called a parallel channel right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect these recent lows and look at what happens here. So we're going to connect these lows here, all of these lows, and I'm going to stretch a line right up. And look at how there's symmetry in that we hit the low, we came up, we touched here, we came down here again, we then came up, then we came down again, then we just hit the high, then look at what we did yesterday. So if I came to you yesterday and I said, look at, we're at support, and support means you're at like a floor, you're standing on the floor, it's supporting you. And I said, what do you think crypto is going to do tomorrow on the Fed? You would look at this chart and say, well, it's on the floor, so it can't go down any lower. It's standing on the floor. So the path of least resistance is to the upside. So, I mean, again, this is just a crash course in like simple technical analysis, but the fact that you were right here yesterday, you were on support, chances are, and just look at what the chart's done. It's basically gone to the highs, comes to the lows, then goes up. And so it's almost like this is as a trader what I do. And I'm able to kind of just notice these little things forming and saying, okay, well, probabilities. And by the way, in technical analysis, there's no such thing as 100%. You're going to be wrong occasionally, but it's about getting right as many times as possible. I generally nail about 80%. And I'm just using simple tools like this. Again, here down here hits, here it hits. So each time you're getting these little bounces up, right here again, up we go. So, it's just cool stuff. TA is definitely some cool stuff.
Definitely. This is so interesting. Because a little bit of that looks like what you just kind of highlighted at the bottom. You could kind of see that. I can't see the specific date, but a little farther back, like a few months back, you could kind of see the same thing.
Oh, like over here?
I think a little farther back, I think it was that I was looking at, like kind of around there.
Oh, yeah. So, you have this going on all the time.
But on a larger scale.
Yeah, here, let me just show you this because this will make a lot of sense to you. So you're right. These type of patterns happen all the time. Like, so for instance, look at this.
Exactly that. That's what I was trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Same exact thing right here. So you just
Wow.
basically played pinball inside until now. This is one of the things you have to be careful about if you're in crypto. What did this pattern do? Eventually, it broke lower. So you have to be a little careful because the same thing is occurring here. Even though I think we're going up to at least 25.5, which would be this upper area here, I would be a little careful because it does potentially signal at some point we could come down. Now, the beautiful thing about technical analysis is if it breaks above here, guess what? Now it failed. Now the bearish pattern failed. Now you think about further upside. So there's not only levels to buy, but also there's levels to say, okay, now it's broken where it should have pulled back, and now it can go up more because it's broken that level, right? So just really cool stuff here. And I just want to show you this one over here. I want to show you this, and let's see if we can come to the same conclusion. All right. So
yes.
Do you notice how you hit here? Well, first of all, you hit here, then I'm sorry, I can zoom in a little bit here.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
You came here, then you bounced down here, then you went up to here, then you came down here, then you kissed down here, and then you finally broke out. What's the difference between this one and this one? Right? This one's down sloping, this one's up sloping. So see how this pattern, which is the same pattern just at a different angle versus this one down sloping channels are bullish and you got the breakout. And again, bullish means it's going to go up. Up sloping channels are bearish. Notice it broke down.
Wow.
So, again, so you start to see these things where it gives you clues. It's like Blue's Clues. It's like dropping little clues here left and right about what the ultimate outcome could be, or at least the higher probability outcome is. And as a trader, you have to be able to read those, and then you can position yourself to maybe make money on them. So, yeah.
This is so interesting.
I know. Initially, it's really daunting when you don't have a back. Like when you're brand new, it's pretty daunting because it looks like a bunch of jumbled nonsense. But when you start to really look into it, there's symmetry in the charts that's just fascinating, and it really does give people an edge. It's the only way I've ever found to trade profitably. Otherwise, you just kind of buy and hodl, right? And you hope, which is fine as well. If you have a long enough time horizon, I really truly believe hodling will be fine. But it's like, for me, I always look at it and I'm like, well, if I know price is going to go down, why wouldn't I exit and then just buy lower? You know, like those type of mentalities. And then I just get a better entry price and I can buy more coins instead of less, and, you know, and that kind of thing. So
there's, Richard Hart has claimed 11K Bitcoin is the bottom. People are saying maybe 17K was the bottom, around 17K when we went that low. Is there anything that maybe the charts can indicate that would give us a clue?
Yeah,
because we have our line from that 17K top, or the 2017 top to the bottom here. So
one of the things, and a couple things. So I actually am in somewhat in alignment. I have a 12 to 13,000 target on Bitcoin where I think it's going to go. One of the reasons why I don't think the 17.5 is the low is because a lot of people think it's the low psychologically.
Yes.
Yeah, psychologically, the markets tend to push you to the maximum where people will give up and just throw their arms up. And this is why emotion is such a detriment to investing and trading. You have to trade unemotionally because the markets know pain points. The market has an amazing sense of where it's going to push the majority of people, where they're going to throw in the towel. And then as soon as they all sell, then price is going to go up. And I don't think we're there yet. We haven't seen, crypto is still on everyone's tongue. In 2018 and 19, after the 2017 high, no one talked about it. In fact, there were a lot of people saying it was dead, and that was the bottom when you saw that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, so bottom line is, just to go over how I get my price target, there's something called a measured move in technical analysis, which is, again, one of these freaky things in symmetry. But let me show you this. So if you take this high of 69,000 and you drop it here to this low, so you can see this is a pretty direct drop. Then you went into this sideways pattern, which we had shown before, right? This parallel sideways. So what you do is you take this distance here to this distance here, and you take that distance and you take this high pivot and do that same distance drop. And what you get is $12,000 to $13,000. So the idea is that this will replicate here when all is said and done, and then that has a good chance of being the absolute bottom on Bitcoin. So there's no guarantees again, but for me, that's where I will buy the majority of my Bitcoin. Having said that, technicals don't always play out. And so when we were at 19,000, I actually officially started my HODL position. I took, and just so everyone knows, I never buy all at one point. I'm a big dollar cost average person, DCA, right? Because I've been wrong enough to know that I'll be wrong again. And so at 19,000, I said, okay, well, how much money do I want to put in my HODL portfolio for Bitcoin? And so I selected that amount and I took 1/6 of that. So 1/6 of that amount, and I bought at 19,000. So I basically have 5 more 1/6 buys as it goes down, but at least I'm exposed. At least I have something in just in case. Maybe the 17.5 is the low. I mean, again, I have my analysis. Everyone has their analysis. I have no guarantees I'm going to be right. So at least I have some skin in the game. Every 2,000 to 3,000 down below, I will just buy another 1/6, another 1/6 until I accumulate my full amount.
Yes, guys, keep in mind that dollar cost averaging. This is a useful technique when trying to enter the markets, especially if you're unsure and you're worried, but you want to know if you could time out the low or worry about timing out the low or timing out these highs. I mean, this dollar cost averaging is a great way, buying periodically.
Such a great one.
Also, thank you to Randy and Kagi Jan for the super chat. I appreciate you guys. All right. So yeah, this is very interesting. So what do we have going on here?
So this is a chart of Ethereum, and these are just some target prices. I'm going to remove them for now because I want
Ethereum
you guys to
has been insane. Like these numbers that we're putting up today are ridiculous.
I mean, amazing. So what you can basically see, so this is another classic pattern formation, and it's called a bull flag. And what you see is when you have a sharp move to the upside like this, what you do is you start to watch what happens afterwards. And when price goes sideways, that means that after a big move up, the idea is there's going to be some sellers that say, okay, I just made a lot of money. Someone was buying down here. They're selling. What you don't want to happen is for it to sell right back down. When it goes sideways like this, what it's telling you is that all those sellers that are taking profits are being met with buyers on the other side. And they're kind of they're buying all those coins from those sellers. And that's a bullish sign. What it tells you is even after this run, there's buyers still willing to buy in, and bull flags by their name tell you that price is likely going to go up. So I am bullish on Ethereum here. I think, again, we're looking for a break of around 16.25 here. You get through that 1,715, and then 1,900 is your upside on this.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah, there's always a rhyme and a reason, right? I mean, that's the beautiful. A lot of people call technicals like astrology or like kind of like crazy talk or whatever, but like it really is truly amazing how you're able to generate so much short-term alpha from just looking at charts and kind of getting that insight into what it is. I think a lot of people don't know how to do it, and then they do it wrong, and then they're like, oh, it didn't work and all this. And number one, it doesn't always work. It's probabilities. But number two is if you do it right, you really do get about an 80% chance of success, which is really awesome.
Absolutely. This is so interesting, especially because, a lot of people are trying to trade right now. And do you think that maybe I guess you would maybe agree that this could be a good time to start trading and just start experimenting, just because it is a bear market and like there's kind of just not as many people trying to go in and trade right now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely bear markets are a trader's market, right? I mean, we know that there's a majority of people that are holding Bitcoin. They bought like north of 55. So, I mean, everyone's or not everyone, but a lot of people are underwater at this point. So this is a great market where traders will make money. Volatility is what gets you money. And again, just looking at that Bitcoin chart before, we saw how you could buy it every time it hit that line and make a nice little move. And then you exit and you just do it again and kind of rinse and repeat. And while price overall is just going sideways, you're able to make money after money after money. So it is definitely a trader's market. The only thing I would caution people about is it's shark infested, meaning that if you come in not knowing anything, you will get eaten alive, right? I mean, there are people out there that know what they're doing. you're going to not control your emotion. You won't have discipline coming in, two key components, and then you have to learn how to read the charts. So I don't want to say everyone should go out and start trading because you'll lose your money. But what I would say is start exploring it. Yes. Start researching it, learning about it. And then if you want, dabble with like a few bucks, do something where you look at it like an educational experience, like maybe $100 or whatever. And you just do that and you see how it goes and see, did I learn anything? If I do this, does it work? Prove to yourself before you put big money on the line, because I can speak from experience, folks. Is like early on, I didn't know what I was doing and I like just kept losing and losing. And of course I'd win some too, but then I would make a mistake and I'd lose like 50% of my account and I'd have to like start over building it up again. And so you just want to be aware of that.
Yeah, you don't want to completely get wrecked. I mean, are there any good, I guess, I don't know what platforms, like I don't know any off the top of my head, but are there any platforms where people can like play trade, like with crypto and things like that, where maybe they just want to like practice making some trades, but they don't actually spend real cash? Yes.
And those are a great way to test your technical knowledge. So I don't know off the top of my head, but you could probably Google it. I would call like a simulator, a trading simulator, a crypto trading simulator. Cool. And so this is the key about that, is that if you're learning pattern formation, like the bull flag here on Ethereum or like the channel that we showed on Bitcoin, that's a great way to test to see if you are correct in what you're thinking. The one thing that fake money doesn't allow you to do is to deal with your emotion, right? When it's not real money, you're going to trade a lot looser versus when you put real dollars on, right? So you have to be ready for that. That's going to be an additional learning curve once you get into real money that you have to deal with. And it is a hard one. I mean, emotion is like, we're all built with emotion. Human nature has emotion in it, and you can't. You have to be a robot. Buy this level, sell this level, do this, do that. Just act like a robot and don't think about it.
Absolutely. I mean, anything investing wise, you just can't put in more than you can afford to lose. That's so right. Especially if you're new at trading, do not get wrecked. Please just educate yourself at least, though. I very much want to learn more about TA because this is extremely interesting to me right now.
Yeah, it is amazing. Like, it takes some getting used to and to read the charts and just basic terminology. Like each one of these is called a candle, a candlestick. It's called a candlestick chart, Japanese candlesticks, as someone in Japan came up with it a while back. And just learning the basics, like this is called the tail. This is called the wick of a candle, makes sense. The tail, like tail of a mouse. This red or green part is called the body. So there's just some terminology, that's some basic stuff like that. But again, I think going back to what we were saying about emotion and everything, it's so important to understand that as an investor or a trader, you sometimes can be your worst enemy. And I think we see it in this market, right?
100%.
How people are just getting depressed and they're getting kind of like negative. And usually that's the sign that we're close to a near-term bounce, is when people throw in the towel. And we've actually seen that recently, right? So be aware of that. And the same thing likewise is like, think back, and I hope everyone learns from 69,000 when we were there. Think about how much bullishness there was. Everyone calling for 100K by the end of November, 250 by the 31st of December. And think about how that was the opposite. It was actually the opposite of what happened. So next time, if anyone's watching and listening, think about doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing, right? If you do the opposite, it's usually the right move.
That's actually really funny. It's almost as if everyone's making these memes. No offense, but a lot of people are making memes about Jim Cramer and how to just opposite trade him. Like people, like he was like, "Oh, Coinbase to I think 475 or something," and it went down or something like that. Yeah. It was just freaking funny.
I think recently he said, "Oh, it's done," right? Didn't he just recently go and say, "Oh, it's done, it's gone, it's not worth anything," and that's probably going to go up.
It's so funny. He was saying something about Ethereum, and then Ethereum went up 40% since he said it. So you can't listen to the FUD. But I really do want to piggyback off of that, Gareth, because I'm done seeing these depressing tweets. You hear me, guys? I am absolutely done. I do not want to hear it anymore. I'm depressed. About the markets, blah blah blah. We are all going to make it. Absolutely, we are all going to make it. If we go look at those charts from, let's say, 2011, when Bitcoin went down 99%, people said it was dead. Then we had April 2013 went down 83%. December 2017 to December 2018 we went down 84%. Now we have this recent downturn of 70%. But what you notice with all of these things is that Bitcoin does surpass that all-time high again. So come on, guys.
Yeah,
Stop.
I agree. And it may take some time, and but I think that also goes to if people are depressed out there, that's as a trader, and I'm a trader that teaches other traders. Number one, that tells me they invested too much money. So you have to invest the proper amount where you can be even keel, because that's emotion. Anytime someone's like, oh, this is the worst, or that's emotion coming out, and that's a dead signal that they did too much. You have to learn from those mistakes, because again, as soon as you overinvest the amount that you should, you're going to become emotional, which makes you vulnerable for the algorithms that trade the market, they're going to attack you, they're going to eat you, they're going to rip you to shreds. It is shark infested waters out there. And so if you do too much and you get emotional, back off, come back, step out, regroup, and go back in, and you have a thesis. So many of these people, right, were buying at 50, 60, 69,000. And if you ask them why, they're like, oh, well, I'm hearing everywhere saying it's going to 100, so I'm just jumping on board. That's not a thesis. A thesis has to be like, well, the Fed is printing X dollars. This is going on here. This is going on here. And by the way, if a thesis fails, what do? You exit the trade. So really, you could argue that the Fed told us in November of 2021, when Bitcoin was in the 60,000 range, they're like, hey guys, we're going to start tightening, and we're going to cut off all the money flow going in that we've been printing. All right. That was your thesis about the money printing just ended. So again, people have to just look at the signals. I think human nature is to always believe that it's going to be successful. It's going to go up. It's going to be awesome. But you have to remember that what goes up does come down. It tends to have these down moves.
Absolutely. I stop trading with emotion. I think is probably the biggest thing that we could say.
Yep. And I'll tell you again, the number one thing is if you reduce the amount you're investing. So when I go into a trade and I day trade, I swing trade. Day trading, folks, is where I'm literally in trades for sometimes seconds, maybe a couple minutes, I'm out. Swing trades are where I'm holding for a few days or a week or two, and I'm just in and out. But basically what ends up happening is that when I go into a trade, I have a very, very defensive stance. So most new investors, retail, they go in and they're like, I'm going to be 100% right. I'm going to make $1 million on my 10,000 bucks. I'm going to be a millionaire by next week. Oh my goodness. Right.
Yeah.
And they're going in with this bullish, crazy thought process. I'm a trader with this 80% success rate, meaning 8 out of every 10 times I win on trades. And I go in thinking, this one could be my loser. I'm going to be careful here. Right. That's the difference. The winning mentality is the defensive mentality, because you know what you can't do in trading? You can't blow up your account. And so I would much rather hit singles and doubles. For those of you that are baseball fans, I want to be like the Wade Boggs. I want to be like a singles and doubles hitter and get to the Hall of Fame that way, versus a home run hitter where you always swing for the fences, because what do home run hitters do? They almost always strike out the most. In trading, you cannot afford to strike out over and over again. You go broke.
Absolutely. Well, very well said, Gareth.
Thank you.
And where do you see maybe the market going? Randy asked a good question. Where do you see the markets going in maybe the next year or so? Because I feel like we're in a lot of uncertainty, especially after the recent halving in 2020. People didn't know where Bitcoin was going. Everyone was saying, had that bullish sentiment. Oh, yes, we're going up. We're going to 100K after the halving. And then, we were in kind of uncharted territory once we went and had that first run up in the 60s. And then we went down. Everyone was like, all right, we're going back up. We're going to 69. We're passing it. And then we took a downturn to where we are now. And I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty here.
Yes, there is. And rightly so. Again, we're in the first period of Bitcoin's history where we have high inflation and the Fed is not printing money, right? So since 2009, that was when they started quantitative easing, where they printed money. This is the first period. So it is uncharted territory. And even I don't pretend to know where ultimately it could go. My guess based on charts is we'll probably go to 12 or 13,000 by November-ish. And then I think getting into 2023, I think we bottom out. My guess is we stay sideways and chop. Kind of, you'll get these, 30% up moves, 20 down, 40 up, 40 down, kind of move, a lot of chop, kind of like what we did. If you look over here, right? So let me go back to 2017. So This is where I think we are in the cycle. of Bitcoin. So if it's following the same cycle, this was the big run up. Obviously, the current cycle we had an M top. It had like kind of an M pattern instead. But I think we just 17,000 was right here on Bitcoin in 2017. I think this is what we're probably getting right now. And then look at what happened. We kind of came down, we went up, we came down. So I think we're going to see a lot of this kind of choppy sideways action. And then this is what happened, right? We had that one more down move to make the bottom. And then that was it. And then we went up. And then really what you could see, we went up, then we pulled back, and then finally we started to break up into the recent cycle. But this is kind of right where I think we are. So I think we're getting ready for this bounce. You had this, notice how in this one, I mean, this is just kind of a cool thing, but sorry if I'm whipping the chart, but
no,
this was the beginning of the bull run, right? The mega move up here. And then we did a full retrace, right? Full retrace to that low. All right. Now, what's cool about that is what did we just do a full retrace to with the current drop, the 2017 high? We just retraced that full amount. So it's very similar to here, which probably means, again, 25.5, 28, 30,000, maybe even around that 30,000 level is what we're going to get a bounce to. And then we'll kind of have this long choppy period. Eventually, I do think we have this little dip. But then again, just use it as a dollar cost averaging opportunity. Just be aware of it. And then eventually you get into the awesome runs that we do see now where we have this huge move up. And again, I think the next one takes us well over 100,000. It's just a matter of when.
Wow, I can't wait till $100,000 Bitcoin. So all the people right now that were complaining that crypto's dead, and we could bring up all these headlines when Bitcoin's 100K, like that's it. That's it. So let's remember this moment right now.
But just a point on that is like you also, as a trader, I use that to my advantage, right? If I didn't see that, I wouldn't think we were going to bounce here. And in all fairness, I think we need to see more of it. I need to see more kind of people freaking out, because that will tell me like when the maximum freak out, just like at the top, when the maximum, I remember being at the summit in Dubai at the time. And I mean, it was just electric it was the futures Bitcoin was launching back then. And like people were just so ecstatic and overly optimistic on Bitcoin. And that was the top. So the opposite needs to occur, where you have to have that maximum people just like, oh my God, this is the worst Bitcoin. I don't know if it's going to ever be anything. And then that is the bottom, right? So, I mean, it's weird as it is, it's good to see that. And social media actually gives us an inlet to see that.
That's true. Because, the best thing about having, like now this present moment is that there are so many people that have gone through these dramatic dips and have gotten wrecked. So they could tell you like, okay, well, this is what we went through and this is how we got through it. And especially, seeing these charts and comparing, let's say 2017 to now, it's helpful. Yeah. Just like look at the history.
It is history. And this is something I've learned from studying history, is that history doesn't always repeat, but it usually rhymes. And that's why cycles work, right? So, if you look at historic events, it oftentimes the same type of things. I mean, you can see a lot of stuff that's happening in society right now. It happened in other periods of society as well, back, whether it was in the 30s and 40s or back even prior to that. In fact, if you look at something like the tulip craze that occurred with the Dutch, there was a period where tulip bulbs, it was called the Tulip Mania, where tulip bulbs became so precious that you could literally buy a house with a tulip bulb. It was basically one of the first documented bubbles. Fascinating read, just like you can go on Wikipedia or wherever, and just read about it. But you just start to recognize how it doesn't matter if it was 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago, human nature doesn't change. So things like this, and this is why the charts work, is because they're going to tend to repeat themselves over and over again.
That's true. That's a great point. Wait, do you hear me? Oh, no.
Did I lose you? I'm here.
Okay. I think my Zoom actually froze, and I hope it unfreezes. But I think we're frozen on Zoom.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. This is not good.
You have to write "to be continued."
Yeah, to be continued. I think we still have our audio though, which is good.
Oh, okay.
It might be the share screen. Maybe unshare and then share.
Yeah, I just did. Did that help at all?
No, we're still frozen. Oh no. All right.
Let me reshare and just see if that wakes it up. Nothing yet?
No. Unfortunately. Wow, what's going on? Sorry, friends.
Well, can they still hear us at least?
Yeah, they could still hear us. That's
Okay, so we can still, I mean, we can still chatter. We can wrap it up. Whatever you want to do, whatever you think
yeah,
the audience wants.
we could still chat. We could still chat. Actually, let's
Nice.
give away our ballet wallet. So, what word or phrase would you like our friends to enter in the chat to enter?
Technical analysis. Technical analysis.
All right. Let me see if I could get this going. All right. Technical analysis. I think everything on my computer is bugging out. My poor computer cannot handle this.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, hopefully, do you think they can hear us or no?
Yeah, they can hear us. Everyone can hear us. We should be fine. Let me see if I could open.
And I was just going to unveil the big. No, I'm just kidding.
Imagine. Oh my gosh, that would be so mean. I guess nothing's working for me right now. My poor computer is bugging out. Oh no, guys, I am so sorry. I really wish like my computer would be nice to me, but apparently it's not going to be. So let me see if I could somehow run this giveaway another way. Oh, thank you, Bonilla420 for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get this giveaway started for you guys. I don't know why it's not working. My Chrome isn't working. My Zoom has crashed. The only thing that's working is my streaming. Oh no, guys, I feel so bad.
Oh, I'm sure they understand. The technology is technology. I've had it happen to me.
Yeah, so guys, I'm gonna try to figure out another way to get this done. But so what do you think about the next? I mean, we went up 75 basis points today. How is this affecting? Do you think this affected the charts directly?
I think the charts kind of were guiding us to this, right? I mean, if you looked at the way the market was trading going into this, we were making higher highs and higher lows, and we had a little pullback yesterday on Walmart's warning. And then, it was really a ready, set, go type event. So I think that, again, the markets were hoping for this. I think we had good earnings from Microsoft. I know you guys talk crypto, but I think it's important to recognize that everything's interconnected. So Microsoft had good earnings, Google had good earnings. All of that's kind of leading, and now you're having this monster move up in the charts today. So I think, again, it's risk on, which is great for the Bitcoin bounce, right? I mean, we talked about how Bitcoin, again, my target was up, and here we are starting to move up. I'd love to get hit so I could exit the trades I'm in, but yeah, I think for the most part, it's risk on in the near term until investors start to realize that the Fed is not going to be able to stop the recession from happening. And we will enter a recession by 2023, and then you will see more downside in the markets. And I think, again, crypto's not alone here, even though I think 12 to 13,000, stock market's got another 25% downside, in my opinion, as well.
That's insane.
Yeah. But again, this is like where opportunity comes from. So for everyone hearing this, a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, more downside. But like, no, turn it into something positive. This is where opportunity is made by people getting in at these levels. Like, think about when it was 69, how many people were like, oh, I missed it, I'm so upset. Well, now you're getting a chance to buy it at 20, right? I mean, like,
exactly. It's a gift, to be honest. Yeah. Bitcoin under 25K, of course, not financial advice. Bitcoin under 25K is a gift. I mean, people were complaining when it was in the 60s, oh, it's too expensive, I can't get in. I mean, regardless of where it is, we have to remember what Gareth was talking about before, dollar cost averaging. You can buy $1 worth of Bitcoin if you really wanted to. $5 of Bitcoin daily, weekly, monthly. It's up to you.
You can, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's something to keep in mind, like, especially when, people are just getting into the hype and it's a little intense. Definitely got to keep in mind the dollar cost average. When did you start dollar cost averaging into crypto? And why did you see that maybe this could be a good strategy where instead of maybe always trying to time the lows and time the highs? Oh no, did I lose Gareth? All right, let's see what happened. All right, let me actually give away this ballet wallet. I'm going to roll the winner really quick. Give me a second. I'm going to try to get Gareth back here.
Oh, there we go. I'm back.
You're back? Are we good?
I can hear you now.
Oh, let's go. Guys, we're back. Woo! Okay, so we have Gareth back. We are safe now. Thank. It's so nice to see you, Gareth. Isn't it nice to see
Nice.
Gareth's face, man? Beautiful. You're beautiful.
Oh my lord.
So, yes, go continue on what you were saying. I'm sorry, my Zoom
Oh,
crashed.
I don't even remember what I was saying now. You threw me off my game here.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, I think bottom line is people just like you said, dollar cost averaging is important, especially when it's the most fear, right? I always feel like I still remember when we were at 69 and I was saying, hey, we're going to go to 20. People would write to me on Twitter and say, I'll sell my kidney to buy at 20, like, but now at 20,
Literally.
they're like, oh my God, it's so scary at 20. And that's just the way markets are. And by the way, it's not to say that it's the low. We don't know, but again, I think if you have that horizon of 5 years, 10 years out, I do think you'll be okay buying down here. By the way, I think one of the keys for crypto bottoming, we need regulation. I know a lot of people are fearful of regulation, but if you want big money to come in and buy, which is a double-edged sword, right? You get big money and sometimes it's not a good thing, but for crypto, you need big money to really push the price up by buying all the Bitcoin up, and then the scarcity of it will push it much, much higher. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really the essence of it, is that be safe, dollar cost average, go in with hesitation, but with a thesis behind you, be defensive, don't go all in at any one buy, and just, be ready for anything and you'll be okay.
Yes. That's beautiful. I like how you articulate things. You're just very like
This
straight
is
up.
how they listen.
Yeah, I
Gotta
mean,
be this way. No, I'm just kidding.
you got a lot of swag, Gareth. Like 100%. Friends in the chat, everyone smashing this phrase technical analysis. I'm
Nice.
going to grab a winner if you guys are ready. I see we have 199 likes. There's like 400 something, 500 people watching. Let's hit those likes. Share this stream out with friends. This is zesty. Zesty, zesty, zesty indeed. Also, I will drop a cool Hot Wheels NFT pack. So if you guys are not, please sign in to your Wax wallets and I'll get this going for you. So where do you see, like, do you think a lot more people are going to start trading? Do you see that, trading might actually become trendy? Because I feel amongst Gen Z, a lot of us like to get involved in this type of market and like investigate. So do you think more people are going to start trading soon?
I think some will. Again, in bear markets, usually people tend to become more the hodler because they're down on positions, and just human nature, we don't like taking losses. So it tends to keep that. But I do hope more people start trading, or at least exploring it. And not to say that you have to be a day trader or even a swing trader, but just learning, it empowers you for the rest of your life. And this is what I tell a lot of the traders that I train is like, listen, you may not find your calling in being a trader and being in and out of stocks and crypto, but what you're learning now will help you in whatever career you choose, because you're going to have a 401k, you're going to have an IRA, you're going to have retirement funds. And if you don't know what the heck you're doing, you're going to be the person with your retirement funds buying at 69 when you should be patient, being waiting for 20, right? So reading the charts and education just is everything.
Yes, education, please. It's not a race. We can all do it.
No, and it really it isn't. It's like I can teach anyone how to read the charts. What I can't teach, and this is the hardest part, is discipline and emotional control. Like, I mean, even if I got like an electric shock thing, it's hard to teach people like to do that. That's something we all have to find within ourselves. If we want it bad enough, I believe we can do it. It takes practice, but the charts themselves, you can learn how to read the charts. It's not that hard.
Yes, as long as you put the time in, you can learn. I mean, Crypto Wendio was even talking about how she just like took a certain, like, I think she said like 10 minutes out of her day every day just to learn. And I
Right.
think that's pretty reasonable. Like, you take a few minutes out of your day to exercise, you take a few minutes out of your day to do some education. I feel like
That's
we
what
all have 10 minutes.
that is 100% right. I always say to people too, is like, just learn one new thing about charts today, or one new thing about trading today. And then let's say, you're your age or even my age. I'm 41. You said you're 19, right? So I think like the beauty of it is that you think about how many years you have to compound the money that you're making. Like, let's just say that one new thing makes you $100 a week from here on out. But if you compound that 100 for the next 40 years, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. And so really one little thing a day changes your trajectory, your financial future so much.
I think we also got a question, and someone Bonilla 420 said answer super chat question. I'm sorry, I did not see your question. Crypto factor. Zesty means hot ini and hot in Greek. Oh, that's what it says. Zesty means hot in Greek. Tell Gareth the crypto factor loves him. Well, crypto factor loves
Oh,
you.
thank you very much.
Also, friends, Tyrone, if you won, you actually won the ballet wallet. So if you could confirm you're here in the chat, let me know. If you don't confirm with me in the next, like, let's say 30 seconds, I'm going to re-roll for another friend that's here. So make sure to watch for that. If you guys win, please let me know. Please, if you win, tell me you're here in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gareth, do you
Mm.
mind telling us about what you feel for the future? How do you feel about the future of crypto in general? I mean, you've just been through a lot with the traditional financial markets. You've experienced a lot. Do you feel as though crypto is on a good path?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think it's going through the normal growing pains that any new kind of asset has, right? And again, let's keep it in perspective, right? The gold market has been around since the beginning of, well, since man discovered or humans discovered gold, which was thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. The stock market, in the very least, has been around in the U.S. since the early 1900s, even the late 1800s. Crypto's been around since 2009, right? So it's a 13-year-old. Now, again, I say that because this is why people expect it to act rationally. Like, oh, well, why is it behaving? Why isn't it going up with inflation? Why is it dropping, collapsing? Well, it's not a rational asset yet. It's people are still trying to figure out where it should be.
Exactly.
So we have to remember that, right? So I think down the line, as it matures, it's going to be an amazing way to kind of offset the printing of money, which eventually will start up again. It just, we have to get in a bad enough recession, and then Jerome Powell's going to say, damn it, we're going to print again because we got to get us out of this horrendous, depression-ish type scenario.
Yikes.
So,
I feel like
yeah,
there's just no winning.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a tough spot overall today, in this economy and in the world. But long-term crypto's here to stay. I love Bitcoin. I love Ethereum. The other coins, I'm still kind of doing some price discovery on and learning more about. I'm not the most knowledgeable person on different coins. But for now, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are the ones you focus on.
Very nice. I do agree. You got to focus on Bitcoin and ETH. Those are two big players in this space. I'm sorry about the super chat missing the question. Mario did inform me what the question was, and that was, what is the catalyst for Bitcoin to fall?
So catalyst, that's a great question. All right. So this is what I'm thinking is the catalyst, is that right now we're getting this bounce because, a more dovish Fed without a recession, that's everybody wins. That's great for risk assets. Bitcoin is a risk asset right now. Later this year, what I fear is going to happen is we're going to start to slip into a recession. I think by October, November, December, we're going to see the numbers tell us we're in a recession. That's going to be a scary thing because Jerome Powell, with inflation at 4 to 5%. So right now it's like at 10%. It's going to come down, but it's not going back to what they want, which is 2% or under. It's going to be sticky around 4 to 5%. And what's going to end up happening is the markets are going to freak out that the Fed cannot rescue us with more money printing because inflation is still too high. Without that, everyone's going to run out of risk assets. Right now, crypto is still a risk asset. It's going to take another dump, in my opinion, on that. So I think that's your catalyst, is that the Fed can't save the day when we enter a recession. The NASDAQ, which has been leading crypto for a long time, is going to dump out another 20, 25%, probably take Bitcoin down to that 12-ish thousand area.
Wow. And a lot of people in the chat are asking about tomorrow. Do you think day-to-day trading is like something that's scary? Do you think, I know that a lot of people saying like trading by the minute is scary.
Yeah.
Like that's like a risky game, like watching by the second, like, woo.
Yeah. So I think for me, number one is I want to see where today's candle closes on Bitcoin. And when I say candle, again, I can show my chart just going back. So this is today's candle right here on the daily chart. It's a great green candle. I want to see us start to test and go up and test. Let me see here. Let me go to my parallel channel right here. So this was what we looked at before. Put that right in. So basically, I want to see us head up here by probably early next week. We need to be testing that 25.5 level. If we can break through that, then you have this level right in here that you're going to head to, which is around 28,000 or so. So I think that's what we're thinking here. Again, ultimately, I do think we're headed down, but I think at least in the near term, you have some upside. So make money while you can. That's what I'm trying to do in crypto.
Well said, sir. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I really did learn a lot today. Like,
Good.
absolutely, I learned so much. I really just didn't. I not that I didn't know that much about TA because I'm honestly not a chart person, but I learned so much. I've been wanting to learn more about the charts, and I feel like you really just gave us a nice like basic nice education. Even going into the candles and how that came
Yeah.
about. It was really insightful. So, guys, if you came in late, please rewind and take a look at the beginning of the episode. We covered the Fed. We were talking about, what basis points are, a little bit of like intro to charts. I feel like this is something that's really needed. Like, you, Tom Crown, and a lot of other traders just taking the time out to come on shows like mine and hang out with me and explain all of this stuff. And of course, just continue doing your own thing and educating. It's really awesome. And I
That's
just really
awesome, and
appreciate you.
I'm so glad that I can do it too. It's an amazing thing to watch people as they start to see, and you did it kind of today. You're like, wow, that's really interesting in the charts. I can
It
see how
is.
I can see how you can start to figure out where it's likely going to bounce, where it's likely going to pull back, just by drawing some seemingly random lines. But there is a method to it, and it's very cool. It's very rewarding to kind of help people get out of that mold of just following the crowd, but starting to look at these signals and kind of being a leader in it.
Absolutely. Everyone, please follow Gareth. Gareth, where can everybody find you?
Find me on Twitter at Gareth Soloway. Otherwise, if you're into crypto, verified investing crypto.com is my crypto website. InTheMoneyStocks.com is my stock market website. And the last thing, if you don't mind, tomorrow I'm launching an educational series. And in fact, it's literally I put my heart and soul into this 20 hours of content recorded, teaching
Whoa!
charts A to B to C, all of it. It's again at verifiedinvestingeducation.com, and it's such a cool service, a product, I should say. It's a course, a 3-course series, and you even get an NFT at the end if you pass and become that pro trader status. It's pretty cool stuff.
What was the link again? Sorry.
Oh, no problem. It's
Yeah.
verifiedinvestingeducation.com.
Education.com. Okay.
Oh, I think we got a pupil over here. I can't wait to train her.
I'm checking out the website right now. Guys, please.
Next time
check it out.
next time I'm on, you're gonna be like, oh, I just did 3 trades today. I made $3,000. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared to trade. I'm not going to lie. I'm scared, but that's why I
It
need the
is.
education, and I just need, and again, I have to keep in my own mind because I try to do the same things, guys. I'm a human too. I try to get ahead of myself sometimes, and it's a habit. I like to get ahead of myself. I like to just jump in and do things, and got to take that deep breath. Got to say, okay, what do I know? What do I not know? And what do I need to figure out? So just ask those questions to yourself. Do that research. DYOR, please,
Yes.
please. That's like the biggest thing in crypto. I I've been just stressing about lately how everybody's been sad. Please don't be sad. Gareth is telling you to not be sad because we're all going to make it. Please don't be sad. And as always, take custody of your crypto. Keep your crypto off the exchanges, off of the third party platforms, unless you understand the risk that you are taking, keeping your coins on there and giving up your keys. Please be careful and be safe. Be safe. Do not be scared of crypto. Do not be scared of the volatility because as we saw today that this is history. We literally went in depth with these charts.
Mm-hmm.
Gareth, is there any last message you would like to share with the Zesty fam here before we head out?
Nothing major. Just thank you so much for having me on. We always have great conversations, and I hope we can help people kind of get through this tough period in crypto. And again, the way you get through it is by just learn something new every day. Like you said, 10 minutes a day is game changing. They say, right? Remember 6-minute abs? Well, you can buy your abs if you make enough money in trading and learning. So just put a little time into it. It's much more rewarding.
Absolutely. So, guys, again, I'm going to drop Garrett's Twitter one more time in the chat and in the description. I do also have his YouTube channel. So please follow Gareth, give him some love. I'm going to drop that one more time. So, one second. And there we go. I hope you guys claimed all of those NFTs. I'm going to drop one final one. I did just drop a Hot Wheels pack in the chat. So if you guys are interested in Hot Wheels and those collectibles, they are now on the blockchain. So definitely check that out. Just dropped a free pack in there for you guys. Thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who sent super chats today. I very much appreciate that as well. That was super sweet of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the day. Congrats, Tyrone, for winning. And as always, stay zesty. Peace.
Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Misty Crypto, spreading crypto, adopting, showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included, it's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. Might feel empty if you don't include Gen Z, better change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down, I got a wax account, you should say it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count at a